were you indicating about abuse? I was trying to pick up on your conversation about abuse, but I was trying to follow. Am I on the right path in that you're indicating there's abuse in the school system, or is it parents?
No, school system.
In the school system.
Yeah.
So can you please elaborate without mentioning student names due to confidentiality?
So there has been, I advocate for parents, and I've been contacted numerous times. Last year in St. Tammany, there was a case that was in the paper where some children that were nonverbal were abused by their teacher and their paraeducators. That paraeducator was, so first of all, the parents were never informed. And when I asked the school district to inform the parents, because I didn't know who the parents were, I just knew what was happening with the children. They said, there's nothing that says we have to, so they did not tell the parents. I called the police and I asked
That the child was abused by
a
the
staff
employee.
member, and they were
Or the
investigating.
teacher.
Well, there was witnesses in the classroom, adults, who reported it to the principal. The principal nor administration contacted the parents and said that we were going to do an investigation. There was an investigation done. They told me there was no findings, but they made those people resign. But there was witnesses, at least 5 adults witnessed what was happening in that class. 5 other adults and all reported it to the principal because that's what the policy says currently. Again, there's no law or policy requiring the school district to notify parents currently, is what I've been told. I asked Dr. Brumley, he had his people look into it. There was no, what he sent back was like the Parents' Bill of Rights, and there was no real teeth to that, so we couldn't go that angle. I later found the dad of one of these children. I reported to him. He went to the police, and they did an investigation. They arrested one of the parents, and the parent ended up pleading guilty. So in the meantime, those kids were in there for over 6 months. Nobody stopped it. Nobody reported it, and the people that did know about it were not charged with failure to report. So when I was looking through the policies, there's a policy that Forethought is a consulting company, does a lot of work with all the school districts, or many of them. And there's a policy separate that is when an employee or a volunteer is accused of abuse, and the steps are different, and they don't follow mandatory reporting. So I brought that to the department's attention because I thought maybe it was just wrong, it was a mistake. But I was told by Ms. Hunt that no, that because a school employee is not considered a caretaker by definition, they do not have to follow mandatory reporting if the abuser is a school employee.
Okay, so what I'm following, Dr. Brumley, it seems like a policy or a state.
So let me tell you where we are on this.
Please, thank you.
So it's an important conversation, and certainly we don't want adults, whether they're the parents of a child, a family, a friend, or an employee in the school, to be abusing a child. Like, obviously, that's the case. DCFS is the agency, and Joan may have to come up if I'm incorrect with some of this, but DCFS is the agency that is responsible for investigating complaints if something happens outside of the school. So the teachers are mandatory reporters to DCFS. DCFS will, in essence, investigate that. There's separate statute, basically that, and this is paraphrased, that says that school systems can't basically create a situation that discourages employees from reporting abuse. And so what's at the heart of this question is if a school system has in their policy, and Kathleen just can't even mention this policy, there are school systems and they have this policy, it's fairly consistent. And it says if you recognize some form of abuse, you report to the principal reports to the system leader, and X, Y, Z happens. And so I think what is in question here, and this is why we are seeking an AG opinion on this issue, is that process that school systems have put in place, which seems to be an orderly process, but does it create gaps, and does it go against the intent of the law that says that no one should be discouraged from making a complaint? So our question essentially, and the reason we're seeking this opinion, and I'm seeking it as my name on it, my signature, and it is asking, is this policy that sets up the procedure for reporting from inside the school incongruent with the law? And so we have attached a sample policy from one of the school systems that used this particular policy to try and get us an answer here. And so that's like the background. I know that's very much in the weeds, but that's essentially what's happening right now. We hope to get that back in short order.
And if you may, can you bring this forward at our next BESE meeting? The opinion, please. Thank you. And we can go from there.
Thank you,
Just
Dr. Davis.
one quick thing, so given what the gentleman from the parent and attorney